Good morning. So, I want to talk about complimenting your children on their strengths and how to purposefully compliment your children on their strengths. So many of us go through our lives. I'm raising teenagers now. I have four children, two adult children, 26 and 25, and I have teenagers. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. And a lot of times, when it's very easy for us when one of the attributes of our children, uh, we tell them stop doing this or don't do that, or why are you doing this, or can you please not do this? But we have to purposefully remember to compliment them on their dominant attributes, on their powers, on their superpowers. And I know that a lot of times when I meet people and I do an energetic reading for somebody, I will tell them things about themselves that are just the most obvious things. They're things that their personality speaks of. It's the things that are like the almost like the bare bones, almost like their base, their base programming or their essence of who they are. And I will tell them, and a lot of times people will start crying because they've never heard anybody tell them that before. But on an inner level, they know that that is who they are, and we're taught out of blowing our own whistles. We're taught out of complimenting ourselves. If you compliment yourself or you say something about yourself, then you're getting the big hit, or who are you to say that? Or it's almost like we have to have others tell us who we are. Um, or at least give us some kind of legitimacy to say who we are. And as children, when let's say like I have one of my teenage sons, and very dominantly in his personality, he is a go-getter. He is a force to be reckoned with. He's like a bulldozer through life. If he gets like an idea, he pushes through, and it's like that's all he'll focus on, and he has like these amazing powers. Now, as a child, and now he's already coming into adulthood. But as a child, sometimes he can be going after things that are very immature, things that or this attribute can be, it can even feel forceful. And so a lot of times we'll tell them, "Oh, quit doing that. Quit focusing on that," or "That's not going." We come out, but many times we forget to tell them, "Wow, look at you. Look at that attribute that you have." Um, you are a force to be reckoned with when we compliment our children, free and pure, without any kind of advice. Just compliment on their attributes, because each person has their own attributes and their own gifts that they were given, and their own personality that they were given, that they have to figure out those tools on their own and how to use them. But a lot of times it is helpful just to point out those tools to them. They will know how to use their own tools. I can't know how to use my son's tools for him. He is going to have to work it out on his own, just like he can't know what the full power of my tools. I'm the only one that can bring those tools for it. But in raising our children, not only is it detrimental for them to understand, complimenting them on their obvious. It's like the fish that swims in water doesn't know what water is. And so somebody who has these, sometimes the most obvious attributes that we have, we don't even know that exist, because that is our so base that we never even think about it. It's just our automatic reaction. But when we have somebody that can point that out to us, not only can we hold on to those tools and know consciously that they exist and learn how to use them and be aware of them, rather than going blindly through life like the fish swimming in water, not knowing that he's in water. All of a sudden we have a name for it. All of a sudden it's in our consciousness. What was subconscious, somebody brought into the consciousness. And we can do this for our children. We can pinpoint and point out to them their strengths and their attributes that we love. And also in this, we're building character. We're allowing them to feel loved. It also builds the relationship between me and him, or me and my children, regardless of me and my children, because they see that I appreciate them and that I understand them and that I see them and that I love them, and they also feel good about themselves. When you start telling them, oh, you have these good attributes, you should do this and this and this with it, it feels heavy. It feels like, oh no, there's more stuff I have to do. I have to work stuff out. When you just tell them, look at you, you have this wonderful attribute. You're like a bulldozer. You make things happen. That is such a good thing to have in life, and it's free and clear of any kind of expectation. You should use this to go and learn this, or you should do. It allows them just to sit in that glory, to understand that they are, that they have these powers, to look at the powers. It allows them to stay in the state of mind where they're inspecting their powers and not already thinking that they have to do something with their powers. And when we tell them, oh, you have to do this with your powers, or we say you can, or we try to take their powers and move them down a certain route, we are narrowing their options, because when they see their own powers, you as a parent have to trust, just like we have to trust our own selves, just like we don't want our parents controlling our own lives, as especially as adults, or as coming into, if our parents try to control us, we're going to do everything to get out of that control, because we have to do this ourselves. This is our own life experience, and it's the same gift that we give to our children. If we just can bring their attributes. I've noticed also with my upbringing, I have very strong attributes and gifts that there's some of my gifts were given credit for, and I were brought into the open, and I realized them from a very young age, and I understood that I had them. And then also when I state it, like say that I'm an artist, it doesn't feel like I'm an imposter when I say I'm an artist, because I am an artist. I understand that I'm an artist. This was something that I have gotten feedback my whole life. It's something that I've kind of risen into it, but it is something that is known. Whereas, other things that are attributes in my in personality attributes, or strengths, God-given strengths, or strengths that I was born with, that nobody ever told me, or nobody, that I weren't reinforced, that I didn't understand, I had to find on my own, and the path is so much longer. And when you point out to your children, not only all the bad points, because when you point out all the bad points, they think that they are always not doing good. They're not being, it reinforces the bad. When you tell them all the good points, and you can inspire them about themselves and make them feel good about themselves, that it's an emotion. And so then they go through life feeling good about these attributes, and understanding that they have these powers, and they are able to make them evolve these powers. They're able to, from a very young age, understand that they have these powers and grow these powers. And what is the word that I'm looking for? It's like when you have a muscle, and you keep on working the muscle gets stronger and stronger. So when you allow your child to know some of their attributes that are, strengths, then they already become aware of them, and they start learning how to use these as strengths in the world. They start becoming the master of their own selves at a young age. So really, um, complimenting your child, pointing out to them their strengths, free and clear of attachment. Just, you know what? You are so wonderful with a look at you. You have this and this and this strength. It strengthens your relationship with your child. It strengthens your child's evolvement and their own maturity, and being able to come into their own power and realize what their powers are. And it allows them to build self-security in themselves and become a stronger adult. It allows them to see that you see them, and that you give them their individuality, and that you're not trying to control them, that you are allowing them to be, and that you trust them in their own power. So you're not trying to constantly control the avenue that they're going down. And it all the way around, it is something to pay attention to when you are raising your children. So really complimenting your children free and clear, with love, pointing out to them their strengths and their ability, is really building character, and builds the relationship between you and your child. So thank you for watching. Um, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, so that it can get to more people, um, and help more people kind of on their path. So thank you. Sending you so much love.